Well, tonight, President Trump went on the attack as he tried to sell America on a second term. The president used the White House as his backup and made his speech in front of a large crowd packed on the South Lawn. And there was no social distancing, not many face masks. KCAL 9 political reporter Tom Wade is live in the newsroom now with more highlights from the evening. Tom?
Hi there, Pat and Sarah. It really was a surreal scene in some sense tonight. A Trump rally, basically, outside the White House. A huge crowd in the middle of a pandemic, defying health orders. But the president got what he wanted, a huge in-person audience for his acceptance speech. President Trump taking the final night of the Republican National Convention to make his pitch for a second term. The president staged an audience of about 1,500 people on the South Lawn of the White House. Practically no one wearing masks or distanced or even tested. His daughter Ivanka Trump introduced him.
My father has strong convictions. He knows what he believes, and he says what he thinks. My fellow Americans, our First Lady, and the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Joined by the First Lady, the president came out from the White House to take the stage.
In a new term as president, we will again build the greatest economy in history, quickly returning to full employment, soaring incomes, and record prosperity.
Trump once again praised his administration's response to COVID-19, even as deaths just crossed the 180,000 mark. It was the president for months who played down the virus and repeatedly said it would disappear.
We are delivering life-saving therapies and will produce a vaccine before the end of the year, or maybe even sooner.
The president played up his continuing theme of being a law and order president.
Your vote will decide whether we protect law-abiding Americans or whether we give free rein to violent anarchists and agitators and criminals who threaten our citizens.
Also headlining tonight's finale of the RNC, some of the president's most prominent allies.
Today's Democrat Party doesn't want to improve life for middle America. They prefer that all of us in flyover country keep quiet and let them decide how we should live our lives.
Many on the other side love to incite division by claiming that President Trump is a racist. They could not be more wrong.
Democrats are urging you to vote for an obviously defective candidate. Biden has changed his principles so often, he no longer has any principles.
Tonight, critics howled about the ethical violations of once again using the White House for a political event. A former director for the U.S. Office of Government Ethics called it, quote, an abomination. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Tom Waite. Sarah, back to you.
Tom, thank you.